Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm reading from a subreddit. So let's jump into it. My sister died when I was like 6 and she was 17. We were super close or anything. But I still remember little bits of her laugh, how she always painted her nails, her posters. She was like this perfect angel to my mom. After she passed, I barely remembered the funeral. When I was like 12, I found this old ring in her stuff. Nothing fancy, just a silver ring, a small stone. It fit me in IDKY, but I kept it. It wasn't some big dramatic thing. I didn't steal it or anything. I just took it and started keeping it. I didn't wear it loads or flaunt it. Just had it in this little box, and sometimes I'd look at it when I missed her. It kinda became this one thing that felt like mine, like my piece of her. So anyway, last weekend we had this family lunch, and my brother 27 meters brings his GF, who everyone knew he was gone, proposed to. And yeah, he stands up, does the big speech, and pulls out the ring. My sister's ring. The one I've kept for like 7 years. I literally froze. His GF starts crying. PPL are clapping. I'm just sat there like WTF. I look at my mum, and she just smiles at me like nothing happened. After dinner, I ask her, was that the ring? And she's like, yeah. Your brother asked me and Dad, and we said it was fine. She said it was sweet and symbolic, and my sister would have wanted it passed down, or whatever. And I was like, it was never yours to give though. Like I've had it for years. And she just goes, oh come on, it's just a ring, don't be dramatic. But like when I had it, it wasn't just a ring. So yeah, I kinda snapped, waited till PPL were outside, and told my brother I wanted it back. He laughed at first, then was like, no, WTF, and I said, okay, well then I'll tell your GF where it came from and let her decide. He got mad, said I ruined his proposal, and making it about me like always. My mum dragged me into the kitchen saying everyone noticed I was unhappy and that I left halfway through dinner. Yeah, BC, I was crying in the bathroom like, Dad tried to calm it down. But my brother kept going on about how selfish I was, and that I'd been weird about my sister for years. I didn't even say anything. I just left early, and have UNT spoken to any of them since Mum rang me yesterday, saying, have I calmed down, and am I ready to say sorry? And I said not really, and she hung up. My cousin texted me later, saying it was actually super messed up. And she doesn't blame me, but IDK, I probably could have handled it better, but I just felt so blindsided. It's not even about the stupid ring. It's just like they acted like it didn't matter to me, like I didn't matter. Update: while the final judgment of my last post seemed to be NTAIM. Still so confused with the overwhelming amount of comments that said I was in the wrong. But one thing that a lot of people did say is that I need to tell my brother's fiancé, and I guess that's right, as it did feel like I ruined her day with my strop. So afterwards, I apologized, and asked her to meet up for lunch, as apology for the other day. I was on Connor. Asked for the ring back, I just wanted for her to at least know my side of the story, I guess. Anyway, we meet up for lunch, blah blah, small talk or whatever. And she shows me the ring, and tells me that, oh, it's so pretty, I know it, not expensive. But if it means so much to your brother for me to have, it means so much to me. Like, I kinda just stared at the ring, and didn't know what to say, and I guess she must have noticed, because she began apologizing a lot, saying, I didn't know I am sorry, and I finally got my ring back, or whoever, ring you won, call it. I was near tears. She took me back to my friend's house. As I thought that was gone, be it. Later I get a call from my bro, where he says that I'm selfish, and I am so weird about my sister, and that I couldn't let him have his day. And it had to be about me, telling me that I just ruined his marriage, and that I can claim anything with my sister. Because I was way too young to have a relationship, he ended the call. And I tried calling both my parents, but they wouldn't pick up till my dad called later, telling me he's disappointed how I handled things, and that I'd blown up my brother's relationship over a person I barely knew. And honestly, I'd get this point, I feel it's all gone a bit too far. I do want to think I can ever face coming home. And I've just ruined my brother's marriage. Am I the asshole? Okay, so let's take a look at this. Clearly the sister loved the OP, because she kept the ring. It was something that belonged to her sister. That's why she kept it. Then OP finds out that her brother is using her sister's ring to propose to his girlfriend. What is the most hurtful part of that to OP? Not that her brother proposed, not that he proposed to his girlfriend, but that he used her sister's ring to propose. The fact that it was her sister's ring. And if OP's sister were alive, she probably would have loved to have known that her sister would have liked the idea of her ring being used for such an event. And when OP confronted her brother about it, he basically just said, shut up and get over it. And then OP's mom said, oh come on, it's just a ring. It's not just a ring. It was a ring that belonged to OP's sister, which has value to OP, which means it's not just a ring. Now, OP's brother and his new fiancée, like neither of them cared about OP's feelings. They didn't care that they hurt her. And I also love how OP said that her brother has been saying this is always about me. Like, no, it's not always about you. Sometimes it's about your sister. And OP, you did nothing wrong here. So it's not about you. You just happened to be the one that noticed that your brother was using your sister's ring, and you happened to be the one that confronted him about it. And now he's acting like OP ruined his marriage by confronting him. Like, dude, you chose to use someone else's ring to propose. I mean, if it was just a random ring that you bought, none of this would have happened. But you decided to use this ring. And now OP is being punished for confronting you about it. Now, her brother and her parents are probably thinking that OP is overreacting. Why is she making such a big deal about her ring? But OP isn't overreacting. She has every right to be upset about this. OP, you did nothing wrong. You should not apologize. You are not the asshole. Now, like I do agree that OP probably should have handled it differently, but she didn't. She had every right to be upset about this, and she was rightfully upset about this. Now, I will say, I don't understand why the fiancé didn't want to tell OP where the ring came from, which I find kind of messed up. Yes, she apologized, but not apologizing isn't just an apology. It's an avoidance of accountability. And I feel like if she really was sorry, she would have apologized and said, hey, I'm sorry I didn't tell you where the ring came from. I had no idea. I will give you back the ring because I don't want to be a part of this. She didn't do that. She basically was like, I'm sorry you feel this way, but I'm keeping the ring. And I feel like that is a big part of why Opus is feeling the way that she is feeling. But that being said, the brother and the parents are in the wrong. Like the brother especially. He chose to use a ring that didn't belong to him. And he didn't even ask OP for it. He just took it and used it without asking. And now he's getting mad at OP for being upset about it. And OP's parents seem to be taking the brother's side. Like what? Why are you taking your son's side? He did something wrong. Also, I think it's messed up how they're like, oh, it's just a ring. Just move on. No, it's not just a ring. And I feel like they're doing that to avoid the conflict. Which is understandable, but it's still not okay. I'm torn on whether OP should apologize or not. I think a part of her wants to apologize, because she feels guilty about ruining her brother's proposal. But the thing is, it's not her fault that he proposed that day. It's not her fault that he chose to use her sister's ring. She didn't do anything wrong. The only thing I think that OP could have done differently is that instead of just waiting until after the proposal to say something, she could have talked to her brother beforehand. Hey, I know you re-proposing, and I'm really happy for you, and I know that you gonna be really happy together, and all of that. But IVA had this ring for a really long time. And it's something that's important to me, because it belonged to my sister. So I'm not comfortable with you using it for your proposal. Obviously, I hope you understand. And then she could have explained why. If OP had said that, I think that her brother would have understood. I don't think he would have been angry with her for that. Like hopefully he would have just been like, oh, okay. No problem. Let me get another ring. I totally understand. But OP didn't do that. She waited until after the proposal to say anything. And then by that point, her brother was defensive, and her parents were just trying to shut her down. But I still think that OP is justified in the way that she feels, and that she shouldn't apologize. If anything, her brother and her parents should apologize to her for the way that they treated her. But I think that the reason why they're retreating her this way is because her parents probably wanted their son to propose, and they were so excited that he proposed that they just brushed aside where he got the ring from because they didn't care. They just cared that their son proposed. And then OP ruined it for them by saying something. This situation would have been completely avoided if her brother had just communicated with her and asked her if he could use the ring, but he didn't. He just took it and assumed that it was okay to use it. And now everything is ruined. And I hate how he's acting like OP is always making everything about her. No, it's not always about you. Sometimes it's about your sister. So I'm gonna have to say that in this situation, OP is not the asshole. Her brother and her parents are the assholes. But I do think that OP could have handled it a little bit better. But her brother could have also handled it better. And honestly, her parents should have handled it better. Like they should have talked to their son and said, hey, we know you want to propose to your girlfriend, and we're really happy for you. But don't use your sister's ring. Like that would have solved everything. But they didn't. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that in this situation, OP is not the asshole. Anyways, that is all for me today. I hope you enjoyed this AITA story. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I truly appreciate when you do, and I will see you in the next Reddit story. Bye.